Welcome everyone to the advanced series of developing an ERC20 contract. And if you've come that far, you have made sure that you finished the basic series. You've also finished the intermediate series, and now you're watching the advanced series. So I would strongly recommend to do not jump straight onto this video if you're just starting out ERC20 contracts. Please make sure that you go first to the basic series, then to the intermediate series, and then you are watching this video. If you are directly watching this video, highly likely you would either lose interest or you would lose track of what's happening. All right, so coming back now to our advanced series, and this will be a few more videos from here, and you should be good to go with ERC20 contracts. So far in our basic and intermediate course, we developed this smart contract from scratch. This was an ERC20 contract that we developed from scratch. But that was the good news. We deployed it, we played with Ether, everything was good, right? What's not good is that we are not going to use this in our production environment, or this is not recommended to be used in our production environment. And for our production environment, for a production ERC20 contract, what I'm going to essentially use is the one that this OpenZeppelin library provides me. Now, you must be thinking, what is OpenZeppelin? What does this library provide me? So if you go to this website, docs.openzeppelin.com, inside that you will see ERC20 contract. Now you can see other contracts as well, something that we will cover in our later series. But for now, this is where we are. So we clicked on ERC20 contract, and feel free to read all this description. It's very great documentation and tells you a lot of what we've already covered, but probably in more detail, or probably some more structure around it. So looking at this, you see that you have an ERC20 contract over here. Now we wrote so many lines of code, and here you just see a very small constructor function inside a contract. And I'm recommending that this is what we are going to use for our production ERC20 contracts. So why is that? So you must be wondering, like, okay, we've gone through the effort, we've built all of this, we've written line by line code. What is wrong with that? Now, a couple of things. So the first and the foremost thing is that we have written this, and there are chances that we could have made some mistake writing this smart contract. And who is to identify that mistake, right? This smart contract is not audited. The smart contract that we have written is not battle tested. The smart contract, once deployed on the blockchain and once funds start coming in, people start taking tokens and start depositing Ether in your smart contract, you can lose funds. You can get locked out. Your smart contract, the one that we have written over here, is prone to vulnerabilities, has security problems, is not battle tested. Whereas the OpenZeppelin smart contract that I'm recommending you to use, this is the one that is battle tested, pretty much battle tested. A lot of security vulnerabilities have been eliminated from the smart contract, and it is quite decent to use for production. So that's one of the very few reasons why I strongly recommend that we follow standards and we follow the OpenZeppelin ERC20 smart contract for our production applications. So that's one of the few reasons. The second reason that would be coming to your mind is that, hey, Fahad, we have written all this line of code, right? It's many lines of code. We tested it, we played with it. Whereas if we go over here, we only see a few lines of code. So I don't understand what's going on over here. So you made us write so many functions, but the OpenZeppelin smart contract is just one function. Let me explain that. So the reason why we wrote all those functions was I wanted to teach you, I wanted to tell you that what are the functions, what should be the functions inside an ERC20 smart contract. And those functions are here as well. We'll come to that in a moment. But the goal was to essentially teach you step by step what each of those functions actually does, so that because as you are a developer, you need to understand what each and every line of code does. Those same functions are also over here. So we'll open this file shortly and I'll show you where those functions are. So those functions are also over here. But the reason I did not start directly from OpenZeppelin and showed you this line of code and said, hey, here is your ERC20 token, just put in a token name and a token code and just deploy it on Sepolia or on a production blockchain. Had I shown you this code first, you would have never known exactly what is the transfer function, what does the transfer to does, what does the transfer from does, what is the mapping inside each and every line of code that we essentially did. So the same process is still over here in this code, but had I showed you this first, you would never have understood the step-by-step process of making an ERC20 token. Henceforth, I essentially started from ground zero. First did a complete review code of how to write an ERC20 contract. And now essentially I'm talking about standards, that this is the standard that we need to use going forward. So I hope that answers both of your questions that could be coming in your mind. Why OpenZeppelin and why not use that over this? I hope I've pretty much clarified those points. So with all of that and more in the next video.